Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Bix
now.
Weir, roadtoruta.com. Oh my God, so much going on. First, for private road members, I have posted the latest Ginny Moonstone discussion. This is really happening. We go through some of the people that are in the new Trump administration. Some are going to turn out to be heroes. Some will be blamed and turned out to be the evil people that they are. Very exciting times on the road to freedom. We are on the road to freedom. Somebody sent me this. One of my subscribers said, geologists uncover one of the largest gold reserves ever, worth 78 billion euros. It's about 1,000 tons. Oh my God, 1,000 tons is such a gigantic amount. What's that, 32 point something million ounces? We're going to see a lot more of this. Oh my God, we found another of the largest gold mines. Oh my God, we found another one of the largest gold mines. Shocking amount of hidden gold out there. Well, you just look at this article. It's like, oh my God, it's so big. 32 million ounces. Don't forget this. 1912. Tell of vast riches in the Grand Canyon. Men engaged in gold dredging operations expect to astonish the world. I've been there. I've seen it. I know exactly what they're talking about. I've done a lot of research into this. Listen to some of these comments. F.D. Watson, who has been conducting operations for the Chicago concern, has come out of Lee's Ferry to report that his principals and make further arrangement. He declares that when the whole field has been developed, the supply of gold in the world will have been increased by billions of ounces. Billions with a B, and there's many more billions. And then we're looking at this and, oh my God, it's so big, 32 million. Billions back in 1912 versus millions. Billions versus millions. There's so much gold out there. Gold! We're all dripping with gold in the United States. And I've tracked this down. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand gold. I know what gold is. I was a big gold bug in my early days. But they've been lying to you. Like they lie about everything else. There's not 200,000 tons of gold. There's many, many millions of tons of gold. Between 2 and 10 is what I like to say that we've already found and probably dug up. Read Peggy and Sterling Seagrave's book, Gold Warriors, if you want all the... Bix, prove it. It's been proven a million times. Read that book. That's over 300,000 tons of gold. And Jeffrey Christian will tell you, no, Bix, you don't know what you're talking about. There's only 2,010 tons of gold that's ever been mined in the history of mankind. It's bullshit. Bullshit. And the shock and awe of this article coming out in 1912 was the cause for the creation of the Federal Reserve. Woodrow Wilson ended up signing the Federal Reserve Act in 1913, but then what he did, even more importantly, he locked up the Grand Canyon so you can't take a pebble out of there. And remember, gold was money back in 1912, and the whole entire world the United States only had about 120 million ounces circulating and in vaults. The whole world had about 300 million. And here they are announcing we found billions and billions of ounces in the Grand Canyon. This is placer gold. It's the little specks of gold, but I believe they've found a lot more than that. And I've done a lot of research on this. Go to the Road to Ruta website, go on the blog, and go to educational resources. You've got all my backup for all my work. You'll find a ton of stuff. Here's one of them. The Great Gold Heist, the Desert Wilderness Protection Act. So Dianne Feinstein in the 90s, they found massive amounts of gold. And they basically put it all into a military base, the Chocolate Mountain Aerial Gunnery Range. And Dianne Feinstein locked up, that's the senator from California, locked up, I think it was 8 million square miles, something like that. A massive amount. Let's see where it is. Congress should be convening a criminal investigation. October 8, 1994, the biggest gold heist in history occurred. But this theft lacked the melodrama of Jesse James' holdup or the excitement of a Brinks truck robbery. Ne'er a word was reported by the media, even though the thievery was committed in the light of day. The citizens that were being robbed tried to cry out for help, but the lawmen wouldn't listen because unbeknownst to them, They were helping the bandits gain their booty. 103rd Congress managed to accommodate more than a gang of train robbers could achieve in a lifetime when they approved the Desert Wilderness Protection Act. Sponsored by Dianne Feinstein, the Desert Wilderness Protection Act and its companion bill known as the California Desert Protection Act created 3 new national parks and 74 new wilderness areas in the desert of California that total 8 million acres. It's the size of Maryland. This closes acreage to development, forces out private owners within the protected areas, and closes mines and ranches. It also expands the Death Valley and Joshua Tree National Monuments and upgrades them to national parks. This is one of the richest gold areas on the planet. I'd say the other rich one is the Grand Canyon. This is massive. There's so much gold at Chocolate Mountain and all around that area in the 8 million acres because of the spotted toad that Dianne Feinstein wanted to keep. It's so insane what we are told versus what we are learning. And it's all, I mean, I contributed all to the Road to Ruta documents that came out of the Fed, the comic book, where Ruta finds colored flowers with the golden sunlight and tries to go back onto a gold standard. This came out of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. And then Alan Greenspan Alan Greenspan invented the computer programs that made up our monetary system. And that's how he became head of the Fed. He also, while he was inventing those computer programs, and he blames himself for Y2K, him and others, he also invented the computer rigging models to start rigging the prices of gold and silver and all traded commodities and cryptocurrencies, by the way, to control the system of unbacked fiat money. Implement them, and then he said, holy shit, what have I done? In the late 90s, he deregulated, made sure that derivatives were deregulated because he knew the banks would blow it up so big, and it would be the weapon of mass financial destruction, which would return us to a gold and silver standard. We're on the brink of that today. So exciting. Now, how will gold be valued? I don't know. I think gold will double or triple in the current U.S. monetary base, but will even that base be around? I don't think so. I don't think any monetary system could withstand a $3 quadrillion collapse in the system. Now remember, the derivative bubble, the derivative market is the only reason our economic system functions today. Without that support, without that rigging job of the derivative market, futures and options mainly, there is no economic system. There is no global and bad fiat system. There's nothing. It destroys itself. And that's what I think is coming. So hang on tight. Definitely, there's going to be a change of position in everybody's mind, the value of silver and the value of gold. For over 100 years, people have been saying that gold is more valuable than silver because it is, it's the history of money and it's more rare and all that. It's not. It's less rare, actually, probably. Because all the gold that's ever been mined is still pretty much available. You, as Buffett says, you dig it out of the ground, you stick it in your vault, back in the ground. Let's just take the Jeffrey Christian numbers of 200,000 tons. There's not that much available in silver because silver is different. Silver is not only a monetary metal with thousands of years of history, more years of history as a monetary metal than gold has. But also it's an industrial metal. Starting in the Industrial Revolution, we have dug out of the ground and not put in a safe, but exploded and diluted and put it into little specks in every electronic device on the planet. Silver comes out of the ground and it's gone. Industrial uses way more than we pull out of the ground. The Silver Institute is lying. It's about 1.5 billion ounces every year gets it evaporated into an industrial. 1.5 billion. Not what the guys like DeRenzo over there at the Silver Institute will tell you. Wow, we're really almost hitting 600,000 ounces on industrial. Full of shit. Complete shit. We're doing 450 in just solar panels last year. And we'll do more this year. I don't think so. I think we're going to see the cessation, the end of the solar revolution, as the price of silver goes closer and closer to 1-to-1 with gold instead of 88-to-1 right now, because of the system that Alan Greenspan invented. Futures and options determine price of everything. Of silver, of gold, of stocks, of bonds, of foreign exchange, of cryptos. Now, it's not so obvious in the crypto world because there's only a couple ETFs that can be shorted like crazy. Christian Carr, the head of CFTC, said Trump and the administration in 2017 got together and we had to stop Bitcoin. So we invented the futures and options for Bitcoin and we popped the Bitcoin bubble. Admitted it. This is not rocket science anymore. Everybody should know this. And this is the end game. So if you have gold, swap it today for silver. If you have gold and you love gold and you want gold in the future, wouldn't you like 10 times the amount of gold you have today? Wouldn't that be nice? Or try 80 times the amount of gold today that you have today. Just swap it for silver. Wait for a free market to be traded in silver and gold, and voila, instantly, you'll see a 3-to-1 and probably 1-to-1 ratio between gold and silver. Ted Butler used to always say, hey, if gold disappeared one day and there's no more gold on the planet, not many people would give a shit. It's not that big a deal because it wasn't performing any function. People would go, yeah, people would be more broke who had a lot of gold, but that's it. If silver were to disappear, our entire world would change. Think about it. On the industrial side, it's in every car. Massive amounts of silver in every car, especially the electric cars, but even normal cars. Every backup camera, every sensor, every electronic component of the new cars, which is a lot more and more every day, needs silver, the best conductor of electricity. Little bits of silver, none of that is going to get recycled. Even at $1,000 silver, you're not going to go to your SUV and try to melt down the 1.5 to 2 ounces of silver that's in your SUV. It's not coming back into the market. Get your silver. I try to scream at people to wake them up to the reality that everything is a lie, especially in markets. Oh, by the way, in cryptos, they don't use everything runs off Bitcoin, and basically crypto people trade in and out of Bitcoin for other cryptos. Oh, the altcoin season is coming. All that shit. It's got nothing to do with the fair market value of anything. The crypto exchanges are notorious for not having the cryptos that they trade. It's like every day, 3 times what they have trade every day. Look at Mt. Gox. What happens when people start pulling their cryptos out? Gone. Mt. Gox, gone. Poof. Well, they didn't lose the Bitcoin. They were hyperinflating the amount of Bitcoin traded on the system. And then when people started pulling it out, probably the banks, probably the Fed, poof, gone. I hope this makes sense. The only thing you're going to have left is what you have in your hands at the end of the day. And then we start fresh. That's what I'm excited about, starting fresh. But you got to get from here to there before you do that. You got to be able to think, okay, if the exchange is shut down, or Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin or silver or gold gets put to minus $40, like they did with oil, could I survive it with the same amount of Bitcoin or cryptos and the same amount of silver and gold in my own possession? If the answer to that is yes, it doesn't make any difference to you because you don't look at price, you're not worried about price. Yeah, it gives you a little heart attack, but you still have your silver, you still have your gold. It won't be traded for a while. If you can say that and say everything's in my possession, I'm ready, then you're ready for this transition, because it will be like that. A couple months of nothing trading, not stocks, not bonds. It'll be very scary. And there's all these damn gangs out there of immigrant military gangs that the Trump administration is trying to get out before they pull the plug. I think the pause in the tariffs between Canada and Mexico, I think that was all about silver. It's a 1 month pause, by the way. It didn't go away. So if Trump puts a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, 65% of the silver that comes in the United States will be gone instantly. And the silver shorts will be fried. And oh, by the way, those countries holding the silver, Mexico and Canada, they'll finally start doing what they should have always done. It's not sell their silver. Hang on to your riches. Stop giving the world all your silver. Mexico especially. A third of the silver comes from Mexico. That has to end. Your people have been destroyed for decades. Mexico should be the richest country in the world. Why do you think Trump wants to join forces with Mexico and Canada? It's the natural resources. It's the silver. We get 65% of our silver from those two countries. And like I said, silver goes away one day and your life is very different. Very, very different. If you want to be a powerhouse in the future, you got to control silver. It's all about electronics. Anyway, that's what's going on in silver. Now, so this is the price right here is the COMEX price. Futures and options trading back and forth. Massive levels every day. Right here. Look at this day right here. Volume was 90,000 contracts. It's 450 million ounces of electronic futures and options trading back and forth from JP Morgan to Bank of America to Citibank, all being coordinated by Virtu Financial behind the scenes. It is a con. It is a joke. It is a gift to you if you take advantage of it. Why is it a gift to you? Because you can get cheap silver. Before silver goes to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 an ounce, you can buy cheap silver right now at your local coin shop. The retail side of silver, nothing is going on. Nothing. On the wholesale side, it is a freaking dash for cash, dash for grabbing the warehouse inventories. You don't think Elon's in there grabbing everything he can for SpaceX, for Tesla cars, for Tesla tiles? Massive. Elon uses more silver than anybody. It is shocking how much silver is used in Elon's companies. You don't think he knows about it? You don't think he's smart enough to freaking get on the internet and say, wait a minute, this is the most important commodity that all my products consume. What happens if I run out? Well, he probably bought a few billion ounces of options and futures, and he's taking delivery through exchange for physical, which is you go into the COMEX derivative market, you buy it cheap, and then you send it over to London for physical delivery. And then China takes it and puts it in the Hong Kong exchange. And India numbers come out in, drumroll please, 6 days. In 6 days, we're going to know how much silver was imported by India. Remember, last year, somewhere around 270 million ounces, 280. The official count is not out yet. But a lot of the silver that was bought at the end of the year, at the end of last year, you're going to see what happened. So you have this is how the game is played, by the way. If you're wondering how the game's been played for the past 50 years on the COMEX, the futures and options are rigged. When it goes over the moving averages, the commercial banks, the riggers, go massively short. And then they slam it down with computers and derivatives, flash crashing everything. All the speculators get torn out, and then they start buying again when the speculators are bleeding. Going from 50 down to $10. That's how they make a lot of money. That's how JP Morgan does it. So now that everybody knows, especially India, China, and Russia, when it goes below the moving averages, they load up. They know this is what the bankers do. This is the game. So when did it start going down? Right here, below the moving averages, December 17th of last year. Now it takes about 2 weeks to get the silver from the time you buy it to the time it gets imported into India. So the January numbers are really the numbers between December 17th and January 17th. So right in here. All this time, it was below the 100-day or 200-day moving average. That's why this is my prediction, over 50 million ounces will be imported into India when this announcement is made in 6 days. And the silver people go, oh my God, what's happening to India? They're importing so much silver. Jesus, this is not rocket science, my friends. Not rocket science. And who's delivering? Who are the criminals? You always know who the criminal is by who delivers. Delivers mean you had a short on the COMEX. Let's take a look at who the big deliverers were. Oh, by the way, did you see the numbers for deliveries? This is not a delivery month. That's the scariest thing. We've already done 16.5 million ounces of deliveries in a non-delivery month. I mean, for last year, this was a pretty decent delivery month. What's going to happen in March? That's a delivery month. I think the record when the Eagle program was going crazy, the record was, I think, 80 or 70 million ounces, 75 million ounces was delivered in 1 month. How much now is sitting there waiting for delivery? Right here. 117,000 contracts. Now, don't let that fool you. 117,000 contracts is 550 million ounces. 550 million ounces are currently in the open interest on the COMEX. Here's what happens every month. You get near the end of the month, and then Jeffrey Christian and friends do their swap forwards. So they'll close out the past month, buy some forward contracts, use some derivatives to smooth out the path. I expect them to do that this time also. But what happens if they don't? They don't have the silver. And you have force majeure. Now, could it happen? Absolutely. Would it happen? Definitely, maybe. Remember the FDIC saying, we're waiting for a 3-day weekend to dissolve a hell of a lot of the banks. They were hoping for a 3-day weekend. So I always keep an eye on 3-day weekends. If you look at bank holidays for 2025, the next 3-day weekend is right here. President's Day on February 17th. President's Day. So will we have some banks go down on the Friday night? That's when they announce them, Friday night. So everybody forgets about it by Monday, but they'll have an extra day on February 17th. And then you're looking all the way to May till the next 3-day weekend for bank. I'm not saying the FDIC is in control of this process. They aren't. The FDIC doesn't have the money that they insure. It's like, hey, I'll insure the national debt of the United States. You pay me $1 billion a month. I'll give you full insurance on every, whatever it is, 80 trillion or, including everything, $500 trillion, whatever it is. I'll insure it. Well, an insurance is only as good as what backs it up. The FDIC doesn't have anything. They have less than 2% of what they insure. That's not even counting the derivatives, which they are insuring now, supposedly. Now, a lot of people said that's the Dodd-Frank Act, is the FDIC has to pay off the derivative bubble money first to these banks. And it's like, they snuck that in at the last minute, supposedly. And at first I was like, that's ridiculous. That's fraud. It's bankers trying to save themselves, bail out them before me. And then I thought about it more. I'm like, nobody would ever approve that. And why would the people have to approve it? Because that money needs to come from Congress. And if the people are saying, hell no, we're not paying any derivatives off, then the whole kit and caboodle gets destroyed. We were hours away from the destruction of the global fiat monetary system in 2008 on September 11th. We were an hour away. This time that hour is going to just fly by an instant. Blink your eyes and your hour is here and gone. And nothing will be open. Nothing. Congress will be puking in the halls like Dick Allgaier saw. It's all happening. I can't tell you when. Out in the road to Ruta theory, the odds have never been greater that it's going to happen this year. Probably we'll see the very beginnings of it. Well, we kind of already seen the very beginnings of it. But when the tariffs go back on, and all of a sudden 65% of the silver that comes in the United States is locked out. This is all being done on purpose. So it's not like Trump, it will surprise Trump. He's doing it on purpose. This is to destroy the system. Because Trump knows, like everybody else should know, that silver is the Achilles heel of the banking cabal. They can't deliver 550 million ounces of physical silver, and that's what, it's right here. It's right there, open interest. But then again, like I said, everything gets swapped over to the next month, and will it happen again? To a point, yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to really point to something, but if it's the tariff thing, of course the COMEX will declare force majeure. This is force majeure. Trump declared a tariff. That's why there's no silver. That's why. Not that the banks were short 250 million ounces, the top 8 banks. No. It was the Trump tariffs. That's called force majeure, my friends. They'll go in front of a judge that they bought and paid for, judge, and the judge will say, oh, yeah, that's force majeure. They had no control over that. Any way you slice it, the game's almost over. So what do? You buy silver. Get silver in your own possession. In your own possession. Contact your local coin shop. I just keep screaming, oh, my God. Your local guy, as much as you love him or hate him, is going to be your best friend after the system crashes. And you're going to go out and we try to start up again, but everybody's trying to get their hands on silver. And they're lining up in lines in front of the silver store. And the silver guys don't want to sell silver at any price because they don't know the price. And they're happy that they have the silver. Don't forget, these are the most sophisticated silver buyers and sellers in the world. The dealers, believe it or not. The little schmo down at your shop. You really think he's going to sell you silver if he hears the price is going through the roof and no exchanges are open and somebody walks in, I'll buy your silver for $45 an ounce. He's like, wait, I'm hearing it's going for like $500 or $1,000 an ounce to the manufacturers. Why would I sell to you? He won't. He's going to hang on to it. He's a silver stacker. Those are the biggest silver stackers in the world. Andy Scheckman will stop selling silver if he thinks, oh, shit, if I sell my silver, what do I get? You don't think Andy loves silver? He has massive amounts of silver. He buys it every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, he personally buys silver, and he promised his dad he would. But, the Miles Franklin, I think they'll have good delivery on their bars, but who knows if the postal system will be running. I mean, you run these scenarios, it's like, holy shit. Get your assets in your own possession. It's almost too late. It's never too late until the very second that it stops, and then it's too late forever. I know. Crazy. Theta Fuel. I want to talk about Theta Fuel. I'm doing a lot of work on Theta Fuel lately. If you heard me talk about Theta, which is an amazing cryptocurrency, Theta is the governance token of the Theta blockchain. That's what it does. It makes sure these transactions are very fast, safe, secure. Okay, that's what it does. And the Theta subchains, it's an amazing blockchain. It blows away Ethereum, but it can do exactly the same thing as Ethereum. I mean, why does it blow it away? It's 1,000 times faster. And oh, by the way, it costs pennies to do a transaction. Pennies. Currently, pennies. 0.3 Theta Fuel, which would be 0.3, like 1.2 cents to do a transaction. When I was loading those Veritasium wallets with the one Veri that we were giving out, it was costing me $2-3 to do that. It was insane. Just to load one Veri token. That's the Ethereum blockchain. Truthfully, it's never going to get better. I don't think it's ever going to get cheaper. They're going to have another problem after another problem. Whereas Theta chugs right along. Uses the same software as Ethereum. And by the way, Theta is not sold in the United States on the exchanges. You can get it at CoinMarket. No, what is it called? Simpleswap.io. Simpleswap.io. There's a couple exchanges if you kind of sneak around the U.S. rules. But you can go to, especially if you're new to crypto, go to Caleb Brown. Right there's an affiliates link at our website under affiliates right here. Shows all our affiliates. The Grow Network, C60, Spurdy, that's the vitamin D lamp. There's an Amazon storefront, Berkey Filters, Miles Franklin, the best silver seller in the world, and there's Caleb Brown. So many people have used Caleb Brown on the road to Ruta, and they're getting rich from it because they buy Theta when it's cheap. They buy T-Fuel. Right now, T-Fuel is trading 30 to 1 with Theta. That's kind of like silver gold thing. I do think T-Fuel will be much more valuable than it is right now. And in relation to Theta, probably less than 6-1. And it's at 30-1. So if Theta does great, I think T-Fuel will do 5 times as great. So if Theta goes 10x, T-Fuel will go 50x. Why? Because T-Fuel is the money of the Theta network. That's what everybody on the planet will be earning when Samsung and Sony download a software program for an edge node on your smart TV, on your phone, on your smart refrigerator. All of that. That's what Theta is. Theta leverages the available capacity on the planet of your computer and everybody's computer. Safely, effectively, with speed, with accuracy. It's an amazing invention. Probably the most important invention, definitely in crypto, since Bitcoin. And it's trading at, T-Fuel's at number 155, Theta's at like number 60. Nobody knows it because it's not traded on US exchanges yet. That is the number one priority of Theta Labs this year, is to get on a US exchange. I think it'll get on, once it gets on one, it'll get on all three, because I think there's been a concerted effort to keep Theta and the whole thing about Theta out of the eyes of the crypto investor and give it time to mature and get strong enough to blow the doors off everybody. We're there now. We are absolutely there now. I think T-Fuel will be in great demand. The more of the AI functionality, they're already doing it. They're signing up all kinds of universities to use Theta, but that's fueled with, you can use USD to pay for it, or you can use T-Fuel, and you get a discount with T-Fuel. So I think the booster nodes for T-Fuel are going to go off the charts. Off the charts. So everybody's going to be trying to get Theta Fuel to get their own booster node. And you need, 500,000 T-Fuel to start a booster node, and then you can lock in another 500,000 to make it 1 million T-Fuel. I know it's a lot of money for a lot of people. That'd be $46,000 to do one of those. But if it kicks out, it'll probably kick out well over the projected 25-30%, and it's in T-Fuel, which will keep going up as 7 billion people are using their devices and earning T-Fuel. That's big. And that's where I see it going. Buying T-Fuel now, to me, feels like when I was buying Theta back when it was 4 cents. And T-Fuel is less than 5 cents right now. It feels this exact same. I wish I would have loaded up a hell of a lot more when I was buying Theta at 5 cents, saying, oh my God, this thing Theta, it's a great content delivery network. Well, they did it, and then they moved on to something 5,000 times bigger. It's a great way to proliferate AI throughout the planet. Yep, that's my story. How can you get it? Call up Caleb Brown. If you don't know how to get it by now, call up Caleb Brown, set up an account, go to affiliates@roadtoroota.com, click on the link right here. It takes you to their site. It's really easy to set up an account. They've upped their game a lot. Everything's automated now. And you can, it's easier to get an account than ever at Caleb Brown, and you can buy and sell Theta or T-Fuel. I don't think they do T-Drop yet. Not sure. They will at some point, but go check it out. Caleb Brown, use the affiliate link to get discounts right here. Affiliates, Caleb Brown. All right. That's what I got for you. Don't forget, we are currently giving away 5 Theta. 50 T-Fuel and 50 T-Drop, loaded on a paper wallet, send to your front door, so you don't have to deal with anything. With every subscription to the private road at Road to Ruta or renewal. So we're currently giving away 5 Theta, 50 T-Fuel, and 50 T-Drop. And that's all I got for you. To subscribe, go to roadtoroota.com, click on subscribe today. And you guys have a good day. Stay safe. Hopefully you'll have enough time to make these moves, get your assets in your own possession. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.